me, my brother is here, the local representative of the most honorable, I was about to say Elijah Muhammad, but yes, that is
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes, sir.
Through his national representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This brother, the local representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And this is a brother who once upon a time didn't know who he was.
Right.
He thought his name was Trick. He was running around trapping people. But now, his mouth is the gun, his tongue is the trigger,
Yes, sir.
and the ammunition is the truth of the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Help me to bring him on with a round of applause. Brother Student Minister Randy Muhammad, as I greet you with peace and blessings.
Let's give call up Daniel of the Takwa, a warm round of applause. In the name of Allah, the All-Wise, the true and living God, the one God to whom all holy praises are forever due, the revealer of all truth and the sender of all prophets, the God of Abraham, the God of Moses, the God of Jesus, and the God of Muhammad. Peace be upon all of these great and worthy servants. I bear witness to the oneness of God, and I bear witness to the oneness of his prophetic community.
Yes, sir.
As Muslims, we make no distinction between any of his prophets. We thank him for each and every one of them, and we thank Allah for the revelation that he revealed through them, that we have their words contained for us in the form of the Bible and the Holy Quran, great books of scriptures, that if we are believers in God, we can go into these books and extract the wisdom therein and use that wisdom as a guide and guidance for the life that God has given us, that we may be successful. So we thank Allah for all of his prophets from Abraham to Muhammad. As black people, members of the original indigenous people who find ourselves here in the wilderness of North America, we represent a very special people who have undergone a very special set of circumstances that makes us special. Now, the circumstances that we have undergone are not necessarily good,
Right.
but it has put us in a special position. For we represent a people who have been totally destroyed.
Right.
And we represent a people who right now exist in a destroyed state. For we've been robbed of our names, our language, our culture, the knowledge of our God, our history, and our identity. We've been turned upside down and inside out,
Yes,
and
sir.
put in such a wretched condition
Yes, sir.
that it requires God's intervention. And so the fact that we have been destroyed and that we exist in a destroyed state has called God out of his hiding place.
Yes, sir. Good point.
And God himself has intervened in our affairs.
That's right. That's right.
So we thank Almighty God, not only for his prophets of yesterday, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad, but black men and women. We bring the good news today that God himself has intervened in our affairs.
Yes, sir.
So we thank him for coming to us in the person of Master Fard Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
the great Mahdi that was to come. In the prophecies of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he predicted that in the last day a man would come. His title is Mahdi.
Yes, sir.
He's a game changer.
Yep.
He comes to set justice in the earth. He comes to sit down every tyrant.
Yes, sir.
And establish the kingdom of God on earth. Black man and woman, we are blessed that we are the recipients of such a mighty one.
Right.
And that he came and chose us to be his people.
Yes, sir.
The people that he would work with to restore and make new. So
Right.
we thank Allah for coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad.
Yes.
We thank him for choosing a Georgia-born black man.
Come on. Yes, sir.
One from among us.
Yes, sir.
One who is a descendant of the slaves, whom he raised with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and backed with power. to do the greatest job that there ever was.
Right.
And that is to resurrect the people who are mentally and spiritually dead.
Yes,
So
sir.
we thank Allah for raising his messenger Messiah, the little lamb without spot nor blemish.
That's right.
A man whom we thank for his work. He laid down a demonstration of work for us.
Yes, he did.
He laid down 40 years plus of work that we have that we can look at. He built the foundation that we're standing on today. So we thank Allah for the man that Reader's Digest referred to as the most powerful black man in America at that time.
That's right.
And I would say he's still that today.
Right.
So we thank Allah for the little lamb without spot nor blemish.
Yes,
the
sir.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
our messenger, who is the Messiah. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I know I'm saying some heavy things to
right.
you
Come on,
today.
y'all.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna unpack all that.
Yeah.
But what I said thus far should fill your heart with joy.
That's
right.
Don't be skeptical and doubtful that God would come for you.
That's right.
Don't be skeptical and doubtful that God would raise a messenger for you.
Right.
If you believe that God raised prophets and messengers for people in the past, aren't we worthy
Yes,
to
sir.
receive a message from God? Talk back to me.
Yes, sir.
Huh? All praise to you for Allah. He brings good news. And all praises are due to Allah today. We don't plan on just bringing the good news and bringing rhetoric. We plan on bringing receipts.
Yeah. Right.
Huh? So we thank Almighty God Allah. He loves you so much. Now, not only did he come himself, not only did he raise from among you his messenger Messiah, but showing his love for us, his continued love for us. He has not left us forsaken. So he left with us one who is among us today, who is continuing to guide us, to lead us, and to teach us. And he couldn't have left a better one. He left us a perfect leader, man. Huh? A perfect guy. The man who I affectionately call the hardest working, most productive, most consistent, most articulate, God-fearing, visionary black man among us. The man who is today the preeminent leader of all black and oppressed people, not just in America, but all over the world.
Right.
A man who's been leading us for the past 60 plus years consistently.
That's right.
Huh?
Right?
The boldest, baddest black man on the planet.
That's right.
The undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion
Come on.
of freedom, justice, and equality. In case you don't know who I'm talking about, that's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
Amen, amen. All praise to you, Allah. How you feel?
Fine, sir.
All praises due to Allah. I'm fired up. I don't know if you can tell.
Yes, sir.
Huh? Every day above the ground is a good day.
Yeah.
Every day above the ground, where we have a chance to bear witness to the coming of God and to the presence of God and his messenger Messiah and the many blessings that have come with that. Oh, I get fired up just thinking about it. And so I'm excited to get this message over to you. Our subject today is accept your own and be yourself. These 6 words that sum up the essence of what God came to give us. Huh? Now, a very simple message that really should be a no-brainer. Accept your own and be yourself.
That's right.
Well, there's a few things that are implied in that statement. And that is that you are other than your own. And that you are being other than yourself. That what you have is other than your own. And that you are being other than yourself. Now that's the most important message that I can get over to us. You know, they say about Harriet Tubman, she freed so many slaves.
Yes, sir.
But she said she could have freed many more if she could only convince them that they were slaves.
Right.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Good point.
And so for me, it's the same to convince us that we have other than our own.
Right. Yes, sir.
And that we are being other than ourselves.
Yes, sir.
But that's an easy thing to prove. All I gotta do is ask you what's your name.
Right.
And if you tell me your name is Billy Johnson, then that proves you are other than your own.
Yes, sir.
Because that's not your own name, is it?
Right.
Johnson is not an African name.
No, it's not.
Jones is not an African name.
No, it's not.
Brown is not an African name.
No, it's not.
Williams is not an African name.
That's right.
Jefferson is not an African name. Come on and talk
Yes,
back to me.
sir.
Is that right?
That's right.
But those are the names that we're wearing.
Right.
We don't speak an African language. So we have other than our own, and then we're being other than ourselves.
Right.
And I'll say to us today that that reality of being other, of having other than our own and being other than ourselves is the source of our misery and hell.
That's right about that, Pete.
So all praises are due to Allah for coming and giving us the knowledge of ourselves that gives us an opportunity to accept our own and then be ourselves.
Yes, right.
It's a very simple proposition that will bring to you peace, love, and happiness.
Right.
Now, what inspired me to teach on this subject was that last week, America celebrated the 4th of July.
All right. Right.
Right? The 4th of July. Yeah. Because they say it's their Independence Day.
Right.
It's independent. And black folks was probably all over the place, popping off fireworks, right?
Right.
Celebrating Independence Day. But what America is celebrating, an event that took place in 1776, which was the signing of the Declaration of Independence. When white folks got together to sign their Declaration of Independence and then to go to war with England to become a free and independent people.
Yes, sir.
Black people helped the white man in America to fight the British to get her freedom and independence. It was a black man in Boston named Crispus Attucks who was the first one to die in the Revolutionary War for America's independence. But America became free and independent of England. But black people in America were still being enslaved for at least 100 plus more years.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
Allahu Akbar, from the mouths of babes. That's right. God is the greatest. So, again, if you was popping off on the 4th of July, talking about Independence Day, and you walking around with your red, white, and blue, with old glory,
Right. Yes,
which
sir.
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called old hair. Because black people caught so much hair under Old Glory, and black people still catching hell under the Stars and Stripes.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Again.
But we want to be patriotic, wearing, waving the flag that never represented us.
Yes, sir. All right.
So we don't have nothing to celebrate about an event that took place in 1776. However,
However.
those of us in the Nation of Islam,
That's right.
we actually do have something to celebrate on the 4th of July. Because on July 4th, 1930, God came and He made Himself known to the black man and woman of America to make us a free and independent people. So we have a right to celebrate that today.
Yes, sir.
If you have accepted your own and you're being yourself. See, we in the Nation of Islam, we are proud. We're happy. We're thankful that God came.
That's right.
He came on the anniversary of the white man's Independence Day.
Uh-huh.
And he upstaged them on his own Independence Day.
Yes, sir.
Just like Trump had a 4th of July celebration where he was out there trying to flex. And he wanted to show the military might and strength of America with his parade.
Yes, sir.
But the God, see, this is our day now. So the God upstaged them again. And so while they was having their parade, there was a 7.4 earthquake in California that took all the they say was the biggest they've had in 20 years.
That's right.
So God was showing you his weaponry.
Yeah, that's
Huh?
Yes, sir. Come on now.
All those little pump weapons America got, you may frighten North Korea, maybe. You may frighten some of these other nations, but God got something for your backside.
That's right.
The God that we know, the God that we serve.
That's right.
Also, we in the Nation of Islam, we so proud and patriotic, and we, I love being in the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir.
I thank Allah for coming and giving us what we need. So all over America, the Muslims were celebrating on the 4th of July. We started with prayer.
Yes,
A prayer service to honor God and thank Him for coming.
That's right.
But we had cookouts and the believers got together
Yes, sir.
and enjoyed each other's company.
Right.
And you know, as we were celebrating, we had a little cookout at Franklin Park with the believers. It was really nice.
Yeah, it was.
And I said a few words, and you know, I was sitting there reflecting, and I'm saying to myself, wow, this is great, you know, because we are free. God came to make us independent. We were celebrating our independence.
That's correct.
That's right.
And many of us, those of us in the Nation of Islam, we know we're independent.
Yes,
That's
sir.
why we gave the white man back his name.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
We come in the nation, that's the first thing we do. Give me an X. Because I'm an X nigga.
Yeah. Come on. Yes, sir.
I'm not your nigga no more.
No, sir.
I'm an X,
Come
which
on,
means
man.
the unknown variable. I'm acknowledging that you robbed me from my original name and gave me your name, and I'm divorcing myself from you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Matter of fact, when you join the Nation of Islam, that is your divorce from the white man. Praise be to Allah. So I'm going to invite y'all before it's over today to come on in. Go ahead and get your divorce from the white man. If you're sick and tired of being brutalized, if you're sick and tired of being oppressed, if you're sick and tired of the racism, stop complaining about it. Every time something happens, we act like we surprised. Man, this has been going on for 400 years. What are you surprised about? We ain't what it is. Why don't you just accept your own and be yourself? Go ahead and give your divorce papers and sign that letter.
Yes, sir.
Get your X
Yes, sir.
and come into your nation, the Nation of Islam. We're not just talking about it, we're being about it. Is that right?
Yes,
So we walking around, we have our own name.
Yes, sir.
We have our own flag.
Yes, sir.
We ain't waving no glory up in here. We got the greatest and only universal flag, the flag of Islam. Huh? You can't take our flag down. For our flag is up in the heavens. Huh? You can't run from our flag. Our flag doesn't represent one geographical landmass. It is the universal flag of Islam. And it belongs to you. And it belongs to you. He gave us a flag. He gave us a name.
Sure enough. Yeah.
He gave us a leader.
That's right.
He gave us a nation, a government, a structure.
Sure.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
He gave us the knowledge of ourselves. So we walk a little bit different. In the Nation of Islam, we have a little different swag to
Yes, sir.
ourselves.
Right.
That's that conviction that you see.
sir.
Huh? That's that fearlessness that you see.
Yes, sir. Right.
Knowing that God is with us. Black folks used to marvel listening to the ministers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and listening to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak so boldly about white people.
Yes, sir.
Huh? That's why when people heard Malcolm, they were shocked because Negroes didn't talk like that.
That's right.
But when you know that God has come and made you free, then you walk a little bit. You don't fear man. Huh?
Right.
You serve God. So as I was reflecting on our independence, that enables the believers to live a higher standard of life.
Right, sir.
He came to give us a high civilization.
Right.
We live a higher standard of life.
That's right, Randy.
Huh?
Right?
We enjoy freedom, justice, and equality.
Come on.
Something as simple as a dietary law.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
That's right.
Come on.
Something as simple as, not taking the enemy's poisons.
Right.
That's right.
Huh? So, because we're in the Nation of Islam, we are being brought up in a way that really protects us from the traps of the devil's civilization.
Yes.
So if we're following the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you're not getting caught up in the foolishness of this world. Huh? So as I was reflecting on that, I said, wow, but it's bittersweet because though we are enjoying freedom, right? There's many of our people that don't even know they're free yet.
That's right.
Right.
Huh? They don't know that they're independent.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of Juneteenth, right? The Juneteenth, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed in 1863.
Come on.
But there were blacks who were still on plantations slaving in 1865 because they didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo. Come on.
Huh? And it's like that today, right? We are free. God has come to make us a free and independent people, but we still walking around like Negroes because we ain't get the memo yet. So believers, it's for us not to become bougie with the knowledge that we have got, that we have received. It is our duty to make this knowledge known and share this with our people because you are not Muslim. You're not a Muslim unless you want for your brother and your sister what you want for yourself. Is that right? All praise to Allah. They don't know. And some of them know. Some of us today, our ignorance, we are complicit in our own ignorance.
Come on. That's right.
Because the knowledge is present, but we're running from it.
Running. Come on. Teach hard.
So as I reflected on this, I said, this year makes the 89th birthday of the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir.
Let me rephrase that. It makes the 89th birthday of the lost found Nation of Islam in the West.
That's right.
Because we know that the Nation of Islam has no birthright.
That's right.
It has no beginning, no ending. Because the Nation of Islam is God's nation.
Right.
This is part of the Creator's nation.
That's right.
God set this up himself.
That's right.
Did you know you are a direct descendant of God?
Yes, sir.
If you didn't know, let me just drop that on you real quick.
Come on now, make it
Huh? But those of us over here, we are what is called the lost and found Nation of Islam. Because we were lost from our own. We were robbed of our name, language, culture, God, and religion. We were lost in America. And they told us that we was niggas, Negroes, coons, and colored people.
All that. Come on.
Huh?
Right.
Until God came, and so we was lost, but now we are found. And so we thank God for coming, searching the earth as he said that he would for his lost sheep.
Right.
Right.
You are that lost sheep
Right.
that the Bible talks about. But God came and he found us. So from his coming, July 4th, 1930, that was 89 years ago.
Right.
I said to myself, wow, man, the nation is getting old. No, not in God's time, nor in the time of nations,
That's right.
but certainly in the time in our lifespan.
That's right.
The nation been here for 89 years.
89. Yes, sir.
That means the nation been around, right, longer than practically all of us who are here have been alive.
Right.
And now that makes me think about some things.
Go ahead, brother.
Because, man, we've been here. That means a lot.
Right.
First of all, it means that we have survived the test of time.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
We've survived. And not only have we survived, but we have thrived.
Go ahead.
Despite the most hostile environment. Huh? Not only have we withstood the test of time, but check this out. Every argument that can be made against the Nation of Islam has already been made and defeated. This may be new to you, right? the nation, but as I learned about the glorious history of the nation, and I learned that the nation had been here, and I learned about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and him building a nation, an independent black nation in America, with thousands of acres of farmland, with an independent school system, engaging in international trade and commerce, its own military. Come on now.
Come on. Yes, sir.
Businesses. Black excellence. Man, we made black excellence.
Come on.
Is that right? The Nation of Islam is the epitome of black excellence. All praise to you for Allah.
Come on, brother.
And when I found out, I'm like, man, it's been here all this time and I'm just finding out about it.
Yes, sir.
I was feeling some type of way. Like somebody kept something from me all these years.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Because it was new to me. And I fell in love with the message because it spoke to my soul. Huh? As a young brother coming up, as a Puerto Rican, a member of the Puerto Rican people, as a Puerto Rican, because I am, my people from that island of Puerto Rico.
Come on. Teach. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's okay, actually.
That's
That's
the original.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. But listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he spoke to my soul because as a Puerto Rican, you know, growing up in Boston, I always grew up around, you know, African Americans, so-called African Americans.
So-called, yes.
Because that's not who we really are. That's not who you really are.
Right.
And I always had an affinity, but there was nothing that really, see, as a Puerto, I'm Puerto Rican, but I know I'm black.
Come on.
It's like,
Stop there.
one of my brothers has a child, my niece, right? Her mother is African American. So, you know, I assume when she speaks this to my brothers, like actually, I had several nieces there that my brothers had children with African American women. And I imagine when they meet people, they say, well, I'm half black and Puerto Rican. But the irony of that is that the Puerto Rican side is more blacker than the so-called African American side. Because their mothers are light-skinned African Americans. So look at the foolishness. I'm half black and Puerto Rican, but I got my black side from the Puerto Rican side. But look at the confusion in the mind. We're the same people. The only thing different between the Puerto Rican. The only thing different from a Puerto Rican and African American is a boat stop. That's the only difference. And we had a different slave master. So the slave master in the island of Puerto Rico was a European Spaniard.
That's right.
So don't call Puerto Rican people, they're not Spanish. We're not Spanish.
No, sir.
Spanish people are from Spain. We are original indigenous people who were enslaved by the Spanish. All praise to you, Lord. Just like you speak English, but you're not an Englishman. That's right. We have our Haitian family, they speak French, they're not from France.
That's right.
We have our Cape Verdean family, they speak Portuguese. You ain't from Portuguese, from Portugal. We're black people who were enslaved by the French, Spanish, English, and Portuguese. Is that right? Praise to you for Allah. And we were robbed of our real names, language, culture, and religion. So now, without any knowledge of ourselves, we walk around here actually thinking we're different.
That's right.
So there was always, you know, some confusion going on. Because I knew I was black. Go ahead. But now listening to the minister, and then the first message I heard from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and the first video that I saw was Power at Last and Forever in Madison Square Garden.
That's right.
And in that opening, he had a delegation of Puerto Ricans who spoke before him. He had a delegation of Native Americans who spoke before him. He had black nationalists, and I was looking at this party, and this melting and merging of all members of the original people, and that spoke to my soul. I loved it. I love to have an identity of our own and to be able to unify with all members of the original indigenous people. But I just learned about it. And some of you may just be learning about the Nation of Islam today.
Yes, sir.
But just because you're learning about it today, I want to disabuse you. We are not new. We've been here.
That's right.
The nation has been here. So whatever arguments you can bring, those arguments have already been brought and defeated. All praise be to Allah.
Yes, sir.
This teaching is invincible.
Right.
We haven't taken any L's
Right.
in 89 years.
Yes, sir. Right.
From the best mind. I don't care where they come from. These teachers have defeated the best mind
Say that again.
that the white man could make.
That's right.
Huh? And the white man make Negro minds, so any Negro that jumped up, you just the white man's puppet. So we defeated his wisdom. Don't think any silly Negro can or beat the wisdom and the truth of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
Now we have a saying in Islam that Islam comes after everything else fails. Right? Now, brothers and sisters, 89 years. Everything else has failed us.
That's right.
Come on now, let's talk. So I'm imploring you today to accept your own and be yourself, because we done tried it all. And everything else has failed us. Come on and talk back to me.
Right.
We tried integration.
Right.
How did integration work out for us? Huh?
Not so good.
Integration has failed miserably. See, some of y'all are quiet. You scared to say you think it was better. See, because you are under the illusion of inclusion. Huh? You think it's better. Huh? But we are just as divided today. They did a study on the color of wealth in Massachusetts, and the average white Bostonian has a medium net worth wealth of 240, I think, $7,000 or $8,000. $247,000 the average white person in Boston has as wealth compared to the average black person who has a wealth of $8. Huh? Yet you think it's better. We live in the hood. Huh? We live in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan. They live out in the suburbs and towns you don't even know about. Because there's a lot of towns, they used to have these sundown towns. Which means that black people had to get out of town by sundown. Huh? And so if you weren't out of town by sundown, you would be subject to being lynched. Huh? So over the years, we've learned in certain areas we have no business going there.
Right.
Is that right?
That's right, Brother Randy.
And we still don't go. You say, well, no, I travel, I've been around. Yeah, you travel, but most of us, you'll travel, you'll leave Boston, get on 95, travel all the way on the highway, go to New York, get out and go to Harlem.
Right.
So you're going from one hood to the other hood.
Yes, sir.
But you don't realize while you're driving in the highway, you're passing all kind of little opulent plush suburban towns that you don't even stop in.
Right.
Come on and talk back to me.
Right.
You go to DC, you get on the highway, you get all right in the black part. Is that right?
Yep.
Come on now.
That's right.
Wherever we go from ghetto to ghetto, from hood to hood.
That's right.
Huh? Don't even know what they look like. We're still segregated. So integration failed us because integration took the money out the black man's pocket and put it in the white man's pocket. Because of our psychological damage and slavery.
Right.
Huh?
You're right.
We still suffer right now from an inferiority complex. Huh? And we see anything that the white man does as being far greater and more superior. We still believe the white man's ice is colder, even though water freezes at 32 degrees.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
But if there was a white man selling ice and a black man selling ice, most Negroes are going to go to that white man, believing that his ice is colder. But that's real. So the moment we integrated and black folks were able to go to white hotels, all the black hotels closed down.
Right on up.
As soon as we could go into the white establishments and restaurants, we stopped supporting our own. Is that right?
Right.
At least, you know, in integration, we had our own. 'Cause we couldn't go to theirs.
Right.
Now, our own might have not been as great as, you know, opulent and wealthy, because we coming up out of slavery. But you know what? At least it's ours.
Yeah.
It would have been by now, we would have kept supporting it.
Coming up.
White folks had 310 years advance of free labor and money to invest.
That's right.
So of course, they could build pretty nice hotels and have it looking plush. They've been having free money for 310 years.
That's right.
Black folks, you know, ours might have not been as plush, but it was ours. Huh?
Right. Yes, sir.
And if we would have kept supporting our own, they would have been plush by now.
Right.
We had our own baseball teams, the Negro Leagues. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Right.
We played in our own stadiums.
Right.
Imagine that. Right now, black people make up all of the sports.
Right.
Major League Baseball is all black. He said, no, those are Latinos. See, that's that stuff again. Man, David Ortiz is black. All the kids talking about he's Dominican. All these brothers is playing, they're from the Dominican Republic, they're from Cuba, they may be from Puerto Rico. Man, they black people. Is that right? We make up the sports. Basketball, football, it don't matter what it is. Imagine if we owned all the teams. We would have been wealthy right now.
Yep.
But integration failed us. Huh? We tried the white man's education.
Come on, teach.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
There used to be the commercial about donating to the United Negro College Fund. And I think our brother Khaled used to say, we donate to the United Negro Fund and they keep making more Negroes. We don't need no more Negroes.
Yes, sir.
We need free thinking, independent black men and women. Look at all the education that we have gotten as black people. How many of us have a master's degree, a PhD degree, a BA in this, a BA in that, associate? We have all these degrees, but what do we have that's our own? How many businesses do we have that's our own? What are we producing to employ our own people, to create our own industry?
Yes, sir.
So the white man's education has failed us. Huh? Civil rights. We fought for civil rights. We thought that was it. Huh? If we would only just get civil rights, we'll be all right. And our people fought, or they got beat up. They got water holes. They got dogs sicked on them. They got bricks and bottles to the head, right? For civil rights. And some of us silly enough to think that when the Civil Rights Act passed in 1965, that we won. We won. We won. We got civil rights. That was effective. How in the hell did you win when they assassinated your leader 3 years after you got civil rights?
Yes, sir.
Talk back to me. And it was a government conspiracy.
Right? Go ahead, talk about that.
They assassinated a man who was nonviolent.
Come on, man. It was a hit. Go ahead.
That was a hit.
Teach. Coming up. Go ahead, man.
How did we win? Some of us still think we won.
Come on, man. Yes, sir.
But if we won, you explain to me, Michael Brown. You explain to me, Tamir Rice. You explain to me, Walter Scott. You explain to me, Sandra Bland. Tamir Rice. John Crawford. Freddie Gray. Eric Gardner. Explain that to me. How are we still being murdered with impunity? Philando Castile. Explain that to me.
Right.
Black man get pulled over.
Yes, sir.
He has a license and registration.
Come on now.
A licensed gun carrier.
Teach.
He discloses it to the officer. And he's gunned down 6 seconds later. Tamir Rice he playing with a toy gun in a playground.
Right.
Huh?
You're supposed to do that.
12 years old, playing with a toy gun in the playground. The police came up and did a drive-by.
That's right.
They ain't even stop. They shot him from the car. Huh? Here's John Crawford. He's at Walmart. He wants to buy a BB gun in Walmart that Walmart sells. He's walking around with the BB gun. Someone called the police. There's a black man with a gun. The police come. They don't ask no question. They gun him down.
All right.
So as we keep seeing these things, you gotta ask, what the hell was the civil rights movement all about?
Right.
How did we win? When we're still being criminalized. They're calling on black men for a barbecue while black. Huh? Swimming in a pool in a condo that you pay rent for while black. Little children selling lemonade stands, getting the police called on them. You think we won?
Go ahead, run it.
Oh, y'all quiet. Come on, talk back to me. Am I messing up your dream? Am I stepping on your toes?
Yes, sir.
We got to tell the truth and shame the devil.
That's right.
That failed us.
Right.
Some of you said, well, yeah, well, what we need to do, we need to get guns. Huh? That's what we need to do. But we tried armed revolutionary struggle.
Right.
We tried it.
Right.
They murdered our Panther brothers.
Right.
Huh? They murdered Bunchy Carter.
Right.
Huh?
Fred Hampton.
They murdered Fred Hampton and Mark Clark.
Right.
Huh? And it was always a snitch,
Showing up.
a Negro,
Right.
huh? That infiltrated and was telling the police officer where he was sleeping, where Fred Hampton was sleeping at. The police, they didn't even come in. They shot right through the door,
Yes, sir.
right through the wall.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Man, do you forget that they dropped the bomb on Move in 1985? Huh?
That's right.
You're not gonna beat this devil with his weapons? How you gonna beat him with his weapons?
Right.
You got your little pop gun. The only reason why he allowed you to get a gun is because he already got you programmed to kill yourself.
Right. Yeah.
We not doing nothing with these guns but killing our own people.
Go ahead. That's it. That's it.
You ain't gonna do nothing to the white man with no guns. That's foolhardy.
Right.
Huh? He don't even need to engage you. He'll send a drone in. Send a missile in.
Right.
What's your AK-47 gonna do to a tank?
Right.
Huh? But some of us are still advocating that didn't work. Armed revolutionary struggle is not gonna work. We tried politics.
Go ahead, bro.
Every day.
Huh? Oh, some of us, you were so happy when Barack Obama became the president.
Right.
We waving our flags.
Come on, man.
Some silly Negroes was silly enough to ask me, is the Nation of Islam still relevant?
That's what
Now that we got a black president?
Yes.
And what I would say to you 2 years after Trump is how you like me now. You more relevant now than ever before. All praises to you, brother. Politicians and politics will not work.
Go ahead. Run it.
Even when we had Barack Obama, what did he really do
Yes, sir.
Good question.
for black people other than inspire us? And we needed some inspiration. So we thank him for his inspiration. But hell, Barack Obama would not even go on board to agree to give us reparations. Because Negroes don't push nothing unless white folks say it's okay to push it. And this is why there's a reparation move now. Because some white folks said it's okay.
Go ahead.
Because they've been so embarrassed by Donald Trump.
Go ahead.
They gotta try to appease you to win you over, but it's tricking you again.
That's right.
Huh? You think these white folks that are advocating reparations, you think they really about that? You think they really gonna give us anything? See, that's the problem. We keep looking for them for a solution instead of recognizing that God has already came and given us the solution. We have all these politicians, but black people are still suffering, still under attack. They poisoning our people in Flint, Michigan, and just keep going.
Go ahead.
Huh? The white man's Christianity has failed us. Sorry. Huh?
Go ahead.
It just made us a more happier slave. Huh?
Right.
That has not worked. It's made you love your slave master and look at him as deity. Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
How many churches we have in our community? Yet we can't come together and do nothing collectively
Right. Go ahead.
for ourselves. Huh?
Very true.
Go ahead, bro.
Make that.
They gave us that as a tool to make us a better slave. Y'all seen the Nat Turner movie?
Yes, sir.
Nat Turner was a preacher.
Yes, sir.
Huh? And they gave him the Bible to read, but they told him what part of the Bible to read.
Right.
What got Nat Turner in trouble was when he started reading the other parts.
Right.
And ever since then, the rest of the Negro preachers stayed away from them other parts.
Yep.
Scared to death. Huh? We still treat teaching that pie in the sky and all that stuff.
Yep.
Huh? You're gonna die and go in the sky and be in a better place. That's to rock you to sleep.
That's right. That's
Most of
right.
us are so concerned with dying and going to heaven that we not willing to work to produce a heaven for ourselves on earth.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Go ahead.
And I gotta say that Arabized Islam didn't work for us either.
That's right.
Huh? Honorable Elijah Muhammad built up a multi-million-dollar empire.
That's right.
And when he departed, then our brothers went to the east and they let go of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to embrace that Arabized Islam. And the nation of Islam fell.
Right.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
We lost it all. Lost the farmland, the printing press, the mosques, the buildings, the schools.
Go ahead.
We even lost our respect.
Right. Yes, sir.
Huh? Yeah, some of us literally lost our mind.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sure enough.
So we thank Allah. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came back and he picked up the mantle of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he tried to reintroduce the people. And now look, by following the blueprint, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was able to start with nothing
Right.
and get it all back. And then some. To the point where today the nation of Islam is again a multi-million-dollar empire. With thousands of acres of farmland. A multi-million-dollar empire with thousands of acres of farmland right now.
Right now. Go ahead.
We're producing our own beef,
Right.
our own watermelon. We got our fish program back. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But now along with the fish, you can get some chicken too.
Yes, sir.
You can get some land.
Yes, sir.
Come on and talk back to me.
Go ahead, bro.
We're a nation producing our own food.
Come on.
We have our own school system back up.
Right.
Sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And we're engaged with international trade and commerce.
Right. Right.
And the nation of Islam is doing this right in your midst.
Right.
Sir.
With no white support.
Right.
With no white help.
Right.
And with all white antagonism.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All white opposition.
Go ahead.
Huh?
That's right.
And white opposition extends into Negro opposition. Our Minister Emeritus Don Muhammad has entered the room. Let's give him a warm round of applause. Takbir! 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 All praise due to Allah. So, brothers and sisters, you might as well come on and accept your own.
That's right.
Huh?
That's right.
Now, so Arabized Islam failed us, white man's Christianity failed us, white man's education failed us. Now, selling drugs, fellas? Come on and talk back to me. So for those of you that's out there that think I'm gonna do my little hustle, man, that failed.
That failed.
Even the biggest drug dealers, man. Come to find out that their supplier was the CIA. And when they got tired of using them, they flipped them. Locked them up and put them in jail. Is that right?
Every time.
And so most of you coming up in that game, you better be careful.
Right.
Because there's no honor among thieves.
Right.
And when the white man squeezes their top supplier, all the so-called gangsters end up snitching. Snitching is in. Or they talking.
Yeah.
They singing.
Yeah.
Like Nino Brown. They singing.
Go ahead.
Once they, all the top ones. Frank Lucas. They keep all of them.
Yep.
Sing it.
They start singing, brother. They start singing, sister.
Yep.
So the drug game failed us. All the money we making off the drugs, what are you really doing?
Good one.
They give you a little run. Some of us have made millions off of that. And made millions. You got a good run, 10-year run. Huh? If that.
Right. If.
Well, for your 10-year run, right? Then you got 30 years in prison. Huh? Is it worth it?
No, sir.
And all that you got went to lawyers?
Yeah.
If you was able to do that.
Right.
They went, repossess your house,
Yeah.
repossess your car, took all your cash, and guess who got it? The police got it. 80% of all that they confiscate from drug sales goes right to the police department.
Go ahead.
So they have a vested interest in keeping the drama going because you making money for them. They pimping you. Man, if you in the drug game, they pimping you. They say, go get my money, ho, and I'm going to come back in 5 years and get it back from you.
Yes, that's right. That's how
This is real. I've been studying this thing. Every 2 or 3 years in Boston, they have a major drug raid. And when they have these drug raids, they lock up 20, 30, 40 people at one time. Is that right? I remember they did my old one, they did OP, locked up like 40 brothers.
Right.
Huh?
Yep.
They locked up, they did Mission Hill, they did JP, they did Castlegate. A couple years later, Interville. They did Lucerne. They hit the Cape Verdean brothers on George Street.
Go
Huh?
ahead. Go ahead.
They hit Windover Street. They hit Columbia Point. Now you know what I'm telling you is the truth. And every time they've had these major raids,
Come on, man.
they confiscate millions of dollars. Is
Don't know.
that right? They're locking up at least 20 people. And it's federal now.
Bedtime.
And every time they say you've been under surveillance for the last 5 years. They probably got you from the first gem you sold.
Go ahead.
But you like a fish on the hook. Then once you start getting in the game, they got you.
Yep.
But any good fisherman know you don't pull as soon as the fish get on the hook. You feel a little bite, you give them some line, let them go. Because as the fish is swimming, the hook is getting deeper and deeper. And they're getting tired. Because they're swimming with a line on their back. So after they get tired of running and going nowhere, you throw that puppy in. And that's what you drug dealers are. You a fish on the hook. You running, they already got you, man. They got you poisoning your community. Killing your people. Making their money. And after you make all that money, they come and they confiscate. But they tell you they've been watching you for 5 years. That means that when they raided Orchard Park, they already was looking at Mission Hill. But they just let them go. Then they got them. They already had Lennox on the hook. Keep going, make their money.
Go ahead.
And they move from one to the next. Man, it's a setup.
It's a setup.
Good
teaching.
We tried the drug game. We tried gang banging. It hasn't worked. Man, Nip got murdered in his own hood. By a so-called member of his gang. He was a defunct member, but he claimed to be Crip. And he was that at one time. There's no honor among thieves.
Go ahead. Teach on that.
Make that
Join your
plain.
gangs, they setting you up.
Come on, man.
Huh? We tried that.
We tried.
Huh? We tried pimping and hustling.
Right.
We tried everything,
Go ahead.
and it all has failed.
That's
So
right.
now Islam comes after everything else has already failed. So I say to you, accept your own. God came for us.
Right. Yes,
Huh?
sir. Yes, sir.
It's true, brother.
And he's on scene. I want to go now as I land this plane.
Yes,
I want
sir.
to go into the Quran
Good book.
because our premise is that God came,
Yes, sir.
fulfilling the scriptures.
Yes, that's right.
See, the solution for our problem has to be a divine solution.
Right.
So this is the 89th anniversary of the lost foundation of Islam in the West. And so I figured I'd go to the 89th surah of the Holy Quran.
Good point.
Huh? Huh? The daybreak. Because as we have entered into the 89th year of the Nation of Islam, I gotta let you know, this is a new day now.
Right.
This is the daybreak. We can see some light now. Is that right? Everything that I explained to you as far as our history and what we've done and what we're doing, now you should be able to see the light.
Yes, sir.
And you should be running and fleeing to accept your own. Allah says in the Quran, "Hast thou not considered how thy Lord dealt with I of Imran, having lofty buildings, the like of which were not created in the land, and with Thamud, who hewed out rocks in the valley, and Pharaoh, the Lord of hosts, who exceeded the limits in the cities, and made great mischief therein. So thy Lord poured on them a portion of chastisement. Surely thy Lord is watchful." Now that's important because God came and he gave us a message of warning and guidance. Guidance and warning. Guidance and good news. In the guidance is good news and salvation and a promise of a better now and a better tomorrow and a greater future and inheriting the land and the hereafter.
Yes, sir.
All of that is for us right now.
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the hereafter for my followers is right now.
Right.
So upon you accepting your own, right, your quality of life begins to improve instantly. Soon as you accept, because when you become a Muslim, one of the first things that happens is Allah removes from you all of the sin and the evil that you did in the past. God throws all of that into the sea of forgetfulness. He cleans your slate.
Right.
So how many of us are walking around heavy laden with the burden of sin? Huh?
Go ahead.
So when you accept and that is removed instantly, oh, it's like a light. Huh? A weight is lifted off of you. And as you start to learn and live in accordance with your nature, Islam makes you healthier, wealthier, and wiser. Is that right?
That's right.
So you start to enjoy knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Come on.
Huh? You start to benefit from freedom, justice, and equality.
That's right.
Huh? You start to enjoy love, peace, and happiness.
Yes, sir.
And then you're able to secure food, clothing, and shelter.
Yes, sir.
Now what more do you want? That's heaven on earth. Is that right? This is what Islam Islam has come to give us. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
But also there is a warning of a chastisement.
Yes, sir.
Because even though the hereafter starts for us now, it's going to get greater later.
That's right.
God is going to destroy the wicked,
That's right. Go ahead.
and we will inherit the earth.
Yes, sir.
So he gave us warning of a chastisement of the fall of America.
Yes, sir.
He will utterly destroy this. America will be judged and destroyed. Now, this is where we lose you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because some of you don't think that's going to happen. So Allah takes us in the Quran and he says, look at how Allah dealt with nations before you.
Right.
Look at Imran. They had built lofty buildings. See, you look at downtown Boston, you see all these nice skyscrapers, and you just think they're going to be here forever. And the white man still building every day. And you just think they're going to be here forever. But Allah says, there was those that were here before you, they built as well.
Right, go ahead.
But look at what happened to them. And look at Thamud. He hewed out rocks in a valley. They built cities in the earth, into the mountains. Death overtook them there. And look at Pharaoh, the Lord of hosts, and Egypt, and that great civilization. It's all gone. Do you think that God cannot remove America and this wicked civilization? So, why does God tell us the history of the prophets? It is because the Messiah, see, when God comes, when the Messiah comes, all of the lives of the prophets and their history bear on the reality and the life of the Messiah when he comes. They are like an example for us.
Yes, sir.
Because what they went through, the Messiah will go through. And so will the people in the time of the Messiah.
Come on now.
So God is so mercifully, he give you an open book test.
Go ahead.
How you gonna fail when you got all the answers? You see what he did to the nations yesterday.
That's right.
And the same thing is promised to those today.
That's right.
In the Holy Quran, he goes on. He says, as for man, when his Lord tries him, then gives him honor and favors him. He says, my Lord honors me. But when he tries him, then straightens to him his substance. He says, my Lord has disgraced me. Nay, but you honor not the orphan, nor do you urge one another to feed the poor. And you devour heritage, devouring it all. Now look at that. There's a lot of lessons in this. Allah tries us with wealth and with poverty. So when you have wealth, that's a trial for you. How are you going to look after the poor if you got money? How are you going to look after the orphan and the needy and the hungry? Are you going to look out for your fellow man? Or are you going to say, well, God has blessed me. That's because I'm all that in a bag of chips. I did all this on my own. Y'all just stupid. And this is how some of us get. We get a little bit of wealth, and then we want to look down on our people who are still struggling. God gave you that wealth not to look down on your people that's struggling. But he's trying to see, will you do good with what you have? Would you look out for the less fortunate? Huh? Also, when Allah tries you with poverty, it ain't that God is necessarily angry at you, but he wants to see, will you still serve him when you're poor? Will you still be grateful for what you do have? Or would you curse God because you don't have what the other man has?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Because it could always be worse. We should always thank God for what we do have. Is that right? And we should still serve God. Well, I don't got enough, so I'm just gonna work. I ain't got time to give to nothing else. I ain't got time to think about the poor, how I'm poor. So I don't want to give to number 2 poor because I'm number 1 poor. Huh? Teach. That's a trial.
Come on now.
Right.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Would you be niggardly?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Would you curse God?
Teach.
Or
Good
were
question.
you still in your poverty, in your trial, in your affliction?
Yes, sir.
Honor God.
Show it. Yes, sir.
Huh? Because that's how he'll determine whether you're a true believer or not.
Come on.
Whether you are good or not. So brothers and sisters, don't ever let a trial make you turn on God.
Yes, sir.
Don't ever let an affliction make you put your head down. Know that you are the servant of God. And that God is your patron.
Yes, sir.
And God will see you through.
Yes, sir.
And we have to make God sufficient for us.
Yes, sir.
All I need.
Come on now.
Yes, sir, brother.
Yes, sir.
But now look at nations. Look at America. Huh? They think that because they got wealth, do you think God is blessing America or that God is happy with America because she's wealthy?
No, sir.
That's a trial.
That's right.
How would you take care of the poor? In America, you're failing miserably.
That's right.
Showing up.
You failing miserably. The wealthiest country on the planet. And you have veterans sleeping under bridges. Huh?
Yes, sir.
In all of these plush, opulent cities, you got people living in the streets.
Right.
Go down the Methadone Mile, down in Boston and Roxbury. Huh? They're building all that area, but people are living and sleeping in tents. It's not a good look for America.
No, sir.
And it's proven that you are wicked. So Allah says, they honor not the orphan, nor do they urge one another to feed the poor. And they devour the heritage, devouring it all. They've devoured our heritage. Huh? They owe the black man 40 acres and a mule.
Showing up.
Black people built this country.
Go ahead. Fine.
Huh? The wealth of America belongs to black people, but they're not giving it to you. Your fathers, our fathers built this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's no reason why we should be walking around in poverty and poor.
Right.
We are not a poor people.
Make that plain.
We have never been a poor people.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're a wealthy people
Yes, sir.
that come from land that's plentiful
Right.
and that was wealthy, but they stole our land.
Go ahead.
They kidnapped us.
Go ahead.
They stole our riches,
Yes, sir.
which is our inheritance.
Yes, sir.
They're living an opulent lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
Look at what they did to Muammar Gaddafi.
Come on.
They murdered him.
That's
Right.
right.
Talk about that.
What happened to Gaddafi's gold?
Go ahead.
They just robbed him. They just took it.
Right.
And some of us, we so silly, you want to marvel at France. You want to go and visit France and how beautiful Paris is and how beautiful Europe is. Fool.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because they've been robbing your people
Come on.
for years. That's your money
Right.
that they took from your people
Right.
and built up big, pretty cities that you gonna give them more money to go and visit.
Right.
What they stole from you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Talk about it, sir. Stole it good.
They devoured our heritage.
Right.
Devouring it all. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
And you love wealth with exceeding love. Nay, when the earth is made to crumble to pieces, and thy Lord comes with the angels ranks on ranks,
Go ahead.
and hell is made to appear on that day.
Yes, sir.
On that day, man will be mindful, and of what use will being mindful be then? Huh? See, we live in this high life,
Go ahead.
this opulent lifestyle,
Uh-huh.
just enjoying ourselves, not concerned about doing nothing for ourselves, about uniting with our own, joining on to our own, building our own nation, where we can offer freedom, justice, and equality to all of our people. Huh? But then it says, when thy Lord comes, see, there's a promise of God's coming.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And God's coming with the angels on ranks ranks. But when God comes, God now, see, God, our Savior has already arrived.
Come on. Come on.
We're not waiting for God to come and give us nothing else. When God does come, He's coming to bring an end to this world.
That's right.
Death and destruction. So the Quran says, and hell is made to appear on that day. Huh? It talks about the earth made to crumble to pieces. Look at what happened in California. When that earthquake comes,
Yes, sir.
then everybody wants to say, oh God,
Yes, sir.
help me God.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you want to call on God now? Huh? So it says, on that day, when you see the chastisement, and it's not necessarily a 24-hour period. That day, we are in the day of judgment. And it's happening all around us.
That's right.
See, there were people that were in that day when they got hit with those tornadoes, with those hurricanes, huh? That destroyed and leveled towns, huh?
Right.
When that earthquake hit, those who were crushed, huh? Allah is visiting the land, curtailing it from its sides. America is being besieged by trial, by judgment. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that God will use 4 great judgments: rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes.
That's right. Yes,
Don't you
sir.
see all these things in play right now?
Yes, sir.
It's only going to increase.
That's right.
It's only going to increase.
Right.
And you know what? The only thing that's keeping it from coming all the way down is that the messenger of God is still among us.
Come on, sir.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the grace of God. He's the mercy of God. And as long as that man is still teaching, see, God is holding off the wind. Because as long as he's teaching, he's giving you a chance to accept your own and be yourself.
That's right.
But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has a rendezvous with destiny.
Yes.
He has to go back up to the wheel
Yes.
to get the new teaching.
That's right.
But it's when the minister departs that we will feel the full weight of the wrath of God that will come down to destroy this world, to clear it, to make way for the new reality. Is that what we're waiting for? When God comes and his angels on ranks and hell is made to appear, is that what you're waiting for, to be mindful? Why not be mindful now? Meaning, think about everything I'm telling you today.
Good point.
We're bringing receipts, we're bringing history, we're bringing facts,
Right.
we're bringing reality.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Just be mindful of what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
In the 21st chapter of the Holy Quran, entitled The Prophets, it says, their reckoning draws nigh to men,
Yes, sir.
and they turn away in heedlessness.
Right.
See, the reckoning judgment is getting close. Don't you see it?
Exactly.
Look at Louisiana with the hurricane or the tornado, whatever, the tropical storm, Barry that's bearing on them, flooding it out. Washington, D.C. was under flood last week. California's breaking up into pieces. There's drought, there's floods, there's fires. Don't you see it? The Quran says they're reckoning, meaning the day of judgment.
Right.
It draws close. And they turn away in heedless because you ain't paying attention.
Exactly right.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
There comes not to them a new reminder from their Lord, but they hear it while they sport. Huh? We're more concerned with what the Celtics are doing,
That's right.
or what the Red Sox are doing, or what the Patriots are doing, or who's fighting tonight.
Yeah.
All about sport and play.
That's right.
Huh? Soccer now. Women American team won the soccer, right? Something like that?
Yes, sir.
We hear the message while we sport, and it says their hearts trifling.
Yeah.
We dealing with trifling things.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And they, the wrongdoers, counsel in secret, saying he is nothing but a mortal like yourself. Will you then yield to enchantment? See, the problem that the people had with the prophets, it was that God has always raised a man from among them.
Exactly.
That's why they rejected him. They're like, man, we know you.
Yeah.
Ain't you such and such son?
Right.
And I went to school with your brother. And I know you. You ain't no prophet of God. Huh? That's what they said.
Right.
You one of us. Man, you ain't no prophet. Man, whatever, man.
Right.
You a regular man.
Right. Go ahead.
He's nothing but a mortal like yourselves.
Come on.
Will you then yield to enchantment? See, this is not enchantment.
Make that plain.
This is truth.
Right.
They say you went to the mosque and got brainwashed.
Right.
What does that mean?
Exactly.
And notice how they give a negative connotation to that. When has washing ever been bad?
Right.
If you're dirty, you need to wash. If we have a dirty, filthy mind, maybe your mind needs to be washed. And our mind has been filthy in the filth of the white man's civilization. It has made us drunkards. It has made us drug addicts. It has made us whoremongers. It has made us loose women. Is that right? It has made us niggas.
Right. Say that.
All of that.
Oh.
Yeah, you need to be clean, but this ain't nothing superficial or artificial.
Right.
This is just truth.
Yes, right.
This is just water. This is wisdom. This is knowledge. Huh? This is what the wrongdoers. Notice it's the wrongdoers who's counseling in secret. And when you want to get right, it's usually the wrongdoers. You know, the ones that like to smoke weed with you. They don't want you to come because they're going to lose a weed partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The dude who's selling drugs with. The one you gangbanging with. See, they want you on the corner with them. Watching their back. So the wrongdoers, they try to dissuade you, man. Don't go over there. They counsel in secret. Man, you go, that's just a regular man.
Come on now.
Come on.
Good chief.
Yes, sir.
He said, my Lord knows every utterance in the heavens and the earth.
Right.
And he is the hearer of the knower. Nay, say they, medleys of dreams. Nay, he has forged it.
Oh, goodness.
Nay, he is a poet.
That's what they say.
Go ahead. I think the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is just someone who's articulate,
Right.
who's a good speaker, the charmer.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
That's what
As
they
they used to call him in his music days. But he's not charming nobody with, no, it's truth.
That's it.
It's wisdom. They say he's forged it. Nay, he is a poet. So let him bring to us a sign, such as the former prophets were sent with. That's what we're looking for. What's holding you back from accepting your own?
Good question.
See, you got that mystery teaching. You want to see God coming down in the clouds.
Say that.
You want to see white Jesus. I know that. You want to see white Jesus.
That's it. Right. That's it.
Robe and flip-flop sandals.
That's it.
Driving a cloud, a little puffy white cloud.
That's it.
You want to see that white boy come down, and then you fall out on your knees and you want to submit. Man, that's not real.
Come on now.
God raised you a real man
Right.
with real truth that you have to reason with.
Right.
Huh?
Right. There you go.
All praises due to Allah.
That reason.
So he says, let them bring to us a sign, such as the former prophets were sent. Allah says, not a town believe which we destroyed. Will they then believe? Think about it. All of the other nations, God raised up a messenger. And none of them believed. So he had to destroy them. So the question is, will you believe? Because God is going to bring you nothing but a man.
Right.
The only sign that he's going to bring you is the wrath and the destruction.
Exactly.
And God is so merciful with us, he's bringing it in increments, so you're seeing it.
Yes.
But
Yes.
some of us won't be satisfied until we, like the rock, is falling on top of us.
Say that again.
And then we'll say, okay, I'll submit. It's too late.
Yeah, go ahead.
See, the idea is to accept while you can still earn some good. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
While you live,
Right.
earn some good, do some good.
Yes, sir.
Right.
You ain't gonna play God. Raise all the hell. Then wait till death is right upon you. Try to squeeze your way into heaven.
Make that plain.
Pharaoh tried that, he drowned.
That's right. That's right.
Allah says in the Quran, and we sent not before thee any but men,
Go ahead. Sir.
to whom we sent revelation.
Come on.
Right?
Yes, sir.
This is God, this is Quran. This is Quran. Allah is telling you, all I ever sent you was men,
Right.
whom I gave revelation to.
That's right.
Sir. Sir.
Point.
He raised up a man for us, brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he gave him revelation. And every day, the truth of what that man spoke is becoming clearer and clearer.
Right about that.
So he says, but men whom we sent revelation, so ask the followers of the reminder, if you know not. Nor did we give them bodies not eating food, nor did they abide. Meaning they were ordinary men. They ate food.
Yeah.
Huh?
Right.
Nor did they abide, meaning all of them had tasted death.
Go ahead.
That's the Quran. You looking for some mystical mystery stuff.
Yes.
Huh? That ain't never happened.
Right.
Right.
They were all ordinary men.
Right.
Who ate food, went about in the market, and tasted death. Then we made our promise good to them. So we delivered them and whom we pleased, and we destroyed the extravagant. Certainly we have revealed to you a book which will give you eminence. Do you not understand?
Come on.
All of the prophets and their communities, when Allah revealed to them, they were tried. But ultimately, the righteous were delivered. Is that right? Didn't he deliver the children of Israel?
Yes, sir.
Huh? He always delivered his people. Didn't he deliver the people in Noah's time?
Yes,
His
sir.
family?
Right.
Did he save them?
Yes,
And
sir.
they became the basis of a new civilization?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Right.
No. God always delivered. Even though the people were mocked, they were ridiculed, they were scorned.
Yes,
They were
sir.
disbelieved in.
Yes.
They were rejected.
That's right.
But God delivered them.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
And so will he deliver us today.
That's right.
Huh? And he will destroy the extravagant.
Yes, sir.
Certainly we reveal to you a book which will give you eminence. See, these books, these teachings, if you take these, it will certainly raise you up.
That's right.
How do I know? How do I know it will raise you up? Exhibit A. Exhibit B.
Go ahead.
Exhibit C.
Yes, sir.
Exhibit D. And we can give you a whole outfit.
Yes, sir.
So black folks that will raise bread. You know, we can be used. come from the same mud pile. Go ahead. Look at the believers. Look at the light in their face. Huh?
Yes, sir.
We not hurting as believers. Islam has been good to us. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Come on, believers. Don't hide your light. Let it shine. He's given us a high standard.
Yes, sir.
A high civilization.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
He given us a teaching that will give you eminence.
That's right.
The greatest leaders that we've had as black people in America were made by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Talk back to me. He gave you Malcolm X. He gave you Muhammad Ali. He gave you Clarence 13 and Father Allah. Is that right? He gave you man Mark D. Muhammad. Is that right? He gave us here in Boston Minister Don Muhammad. Is that right? And he gave to us the greatest one among us, the Honorable Minister Louis. Give you evidence. We're an independent nation in the midst of our enemies. Doing it for self. Man, you better hurry up and join the Nation of Islam. All we do is win. All we do is win, win, win. How they go? Come on now. Everyone that come in, we win.
That's right.
You only lose when you leave.
Right.
Huh?
That's correct.
Those that left, they lose.
Right.
When you leave these teachers.
That's right.
And if Allah bless you to come back, then you'll come back to be winning some more.
Yes, sir.
You'll win in your marriage. You'll win in your family. You'll save your children. You'll win economically. You'll win mentally and spiritually. You'll win in good health.
Right.
Come on now. We got a God with us.
Yes, sir.
We have a Savior with us.
Yes, sir.
And God is our patron. Is that right? All praises
That's
due
right.
to Allah.
Come on now. Good teaching, man.
So what we waiting for?
What you waiting on?
Go ahead. We got 98 years.
Right.
Tried and tested.
Come on now.
Is there 89?
That's
89 years.
Yeah. Right.
That's my dyslexia kicking in. 89. We got 89 years. We ain't no new kids on the block.
Right. We know this people.
Every argument has been made
That's right.
and defeated. Don't fear the white man. Some of y'all scared if you join the nation. The white man is going to investigate you.
Right.
Man, we've been investigating.
Right.
And, right? They've been investigated. We the most investigated. They know there's no there.
Right.
Don't fear the government. They're watching you anyway.
Right.
We not fearing them. Then why should you fear? We walk around heavy in the earth.
Right.
And this same blessing that Allah has bestowed on us, He's bestowing on you. So brothers and sisters, I thank you. I'm on close on time today.
Yeah.
Working on being timely.
Yeah.
So my wife can close on time today.
Leave Brother Ram. Yes, sir.
Be on time.
Yes, sir.
So guess what?
Uh-huh.
Next week,
Next week.
we're going to hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I can't wait to hear from the man of God. Every opportunity we get a chance to hear from that man is mercy and grace. So, brothers and sisters, I hope you're going to be back next week.
Come on, sir.
Make sure you're here
Right.
to hear what that message is going to be that God has for us through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes, sir.
And I can't even say what I'm going to say after that because based on what he said, that may change everything.
Right.
We're going to come back and revisit and accepting your own and being yourself.
That's right.
Because there's so much more to go into. But I thank you, brothers and sisters, for your attendance.
Thank you, sir.
I thank you for your attention, and I hope and pray that something I said today was worthwhile your time of visiting us here at Muhammad Mosque number 11. I close as I opened up with the universal greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum.